because it's not for them, it's for you. So you have to go through it. Jesus couldn't depend on nobody. So he had a flashback. I believe that Jesus remembered that, wait a minute, I am the word of God and I am God. So wait a minute, God, we need to work this out. Look at your neighbor and say, all I need is a flashback. All you need sometime is a flashback to remember that, wait a minute, God said that I am the Son of God. And it said that his word have I hidden in my heart, so I will not sin against him. Therefore, if his word is in my heart, that means that I am the word. And the John 1 says, in the beginning was the word, and the word was with God, and the word was God. So if I'm with God, and if I'm in God, then nothing by any means can harm me. All we need is a flashback. See, I think that there were two people in the Bible that were in the same story at the same time, and they had a flashback of what Jesus could do. And so they went back and they went and got him. And we're going to talk on that story. We're going to go to Luke 8:40. Luke 8:40. And it came to pass that when Jesus was returned, the people gladly received him, for they were all waiting for him. And behold, there came a man named Jairus, and he was a ruler of the synagogue, and he fell down at Jesus' feet and besought him that he would come into his house. For he had one only daughter, about 12 years of age, and she lay dying. But as he went, the people thronged him. And a woman having an issue of blood 12 years, which had spent all her living upon physicians, neither could be healed of any, came behind him and touched the border of his garment, and immediately her issue of blood stanched. And Jesus said, who touched me? When all denied, Peter and they that were with him said, Master, the multitude throng thee and press thee, and sayest thou, who touched me? And Jesus said, somebody have touched me, for I perceive the virtue is gone out of me. And when the woman saw that she was not hid, she came trembling and falling down before him. She declared unto him before all the people for what cause she had touched him, and how she was healed immediately. And he said unto her, daughter, be of good comfort, thy faith hath made thee whole. Go in peace. While yet he spake, there cometh one from the ruler of the synagogue's house, saying to him, thy daughter is dead. Trouble not the master. But when Jesus heard it, he answered him, saying, fear not, believe only, and she shall be made whole. And when he came into the house, he suffered no man to go in, save Peter and James and John, and the father and the mother of the maiden. And all wept and bewailed her. But he said, weep not, she is not dead, but sleepeth. And they laughed him to scorn, knowing that she was dead. And he put them all out, and took her by the hand, and called, saying, Maid, arise. And her spirit came again, and she rose straightway, and he commanded to give her meat. And her parents were as astonished, but he charged them that they should tell no man what was done. So we find out that Jairus has a daughter that was sick unto death, and Jairus knew that he had to get to Jesus to save his house. He had a flashback of what he heard about Jesus. He had made the conscious decision to make a move to go back to God. But right there in the midst of his problem, there was another who had a flashback of the same remembrance, and she remembered that what she had heard about this man named Jesus, and she needed a touch. She was the woman with the issue of blood. Now, I found it interesting that the girl was 12 years old and that the woman had an issue for 12 years. See, The number 12 means government, perfection, and authority. So the girl was living in her life of the year of government, perfection, and authority. So the girl, even though she was 12, she had authority in her living age that she was in. Stay with me and you're going to get blessed. And the woman was 12 years in this sickness, meaning that it was the governmental authority, and it was in the 12th year of the governmental authority and perfection that this thing was about to get out of her. See, you don't believe me? 12 is the number of governmental perfection and divine authority, which means that in the 12th year, she was about to get blessed. In the 12th year, in her divine authority, God was about to work it all out. I found it so interesting. I said, wait a minute, the girl is 12 and the woman's been going through it for 12 years. Well, and so the woman got to him with one touch. See, all she needed was one touch from the master. Well, if you don't know, you're going to learn about numbers tonight. The number 1 means first. It signifies strength. It means that it's the beginning. That means that it takes only one. So what she did was she didn't go for 2. She didn't go for 3. She just went for 1. So she's been dealing with this sickness for 12 years, and in her governmental authority, in God's perfective time, all she needed was one touch from him. Isn't it interesting that you might be going through something for so many years, but it doesn't take 2, 3, 4, or 5. It only takes one touch from God. So then what happens is, on the way that it happens, then Jairus gets some news. Jairus gets the news that his daughter has died. Doesn't it seem like you asked God first? You've been seeking him faithfully. You've been waiting on him. See, if you remember the story, Jairus hit him up first, and he asked him, can you come? But then Jesus got lost in the crowd, and this woman who just was really illegal and wasn't supposed to be out, wasn't supposed to be among the people, was out of the legal authority. But somebody say that it was the 12th year, so that means it was God's governmental authority. I don't care what it might seem like in the natural, in the spirit, there's a governmental authority that's about to bless you. It might seem like you're not supposed to be out in the public. It might seem like you're not supposed to have what you ought to have. It might seem like your tax return shouldn't be the return that it is. It might seem like your light still shouldn't be on because your bill hasn't been paid. It might seem like your car should be repossessed because you haven't paid it. But there's a governmental authority that beats the authority of the land. Somebody bless him. And so in this governmental authority, she kind of snuck in and got her touch, and Jairus, his daughter, died. Isn't it funny? It seems like everybody around you is getting touched and getting healed in their situation, and you're just left to die. You're just left to die in your situation. It seems like everybody else is getting the house. It seems like everybody else is getting the job. It seems like everybody else is getting the financial blessing, and you are just like Jairus, and you're dying in your situation. But look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, hold on. Only believe. You must have faith. Fear not. Only believe. It's time to have faith. So Jesus healed the woman, and he sent her on her way, and he went off to see Jairus, his daughter, with his 3 disciples again. Here comes that number 3 one more time. He comes this time with the 3 disciples. So if you add Jesus, that makes 4. The number 4 in Hebrew means a door. It means that Jesus was about to go in and open up the door So it was 3, and now there's 4. Well, if you add Jairus and his wife, there comes 6. Well, we know that 6 is the number of man. So Jesus went in to the house in the number of man. He went in as the number of man. He went into the house and tried with the number of man. See, what are you saying, Pastor Nate? You have to go in as yourself. You have to go in the number of man. Go into the house. Go back to God in the number of man, because what happened was he came in with 6 folk, and then there was 1 dead. There was 1 point of contact. There goes that number 1 again, and he touched her in the number of strength. She unified, and he went in with 6, but came out with 7, the number of perfection. So what are you saying?